and then you come down to clay. If you don't have any topsoil, don't have any clay, the clay makes it unstable, unless it's baked, of course. But if you're not baking it, you don't have any clay. You just have that subsoil, it makes it a very good mud brick. With a tractor, of course, being a farmway machinery, so I was able to just pile a huge pile there, add water, and just go back and forth, and you churn it up, and so it's a real good consistency, just with the wheels of the tractor, just by making it, the wheel, had it happen so is when you go through the middle, the walls stay firm, so it doesn't slump like that. If it does, you add more soil. If it's too dry, of course, you've got to add a bit more water. But it has to be a real good consistency. And make a mud brick out of it. I made a couple and put them on a fence post for 2 years. I was still in the planning stages. And I left it on the fence post for 2 years. If you have it on the ground, the rising damp, the brick just dissolves. On the fence post, it has all the rain, but it doesn't have any rising damp. And after 2 years, I took those bricks off and I could use them. They were not damaged in any way by the rain. Just the corners got washed off a bit, stone came to the surface, and so you had stone on the surface, and the stone protected the brick. So that's a great brick, and you could drop them, they wouldn't break, they were really very solid bricks. No additives at all, no straw, nothing, just mud. And the mortar itself is just mud, so no additives, apart from a bit of barbed wire, in case we have an earthquake. Barbed wire every 5th course or so that the whole wall's not going to fall down if you have too much movement. Anyway, I thought, well, this is great. I've got the wood, I've got the mud, and so I went to the council, and the inspector said, well, he happened to be a guy that loved owner builders. He didn't like commercial builders. Anyway, he loved what I was doing. He liked the concept, and so we went ahead and we managed to get this place built. Took about, that was 1982 I started, and about, 1988 I finished. But the only person I got in was an electrician. Managed to do everything else myself. Had to do a lot of crash courses in laying bricks. Plumbing, yeah, I did all the plumbing. Actually, the health inspector, I went to him, and he said, well, as long as you've got someone to sign the dotted line, he would tell me what to do. And
I know why we can make good times.
you can't do that today, but this is back in the 1980s. He let me do all the plumbing, but he came over and checked it all out thoroughly, so there was no problem there. But this whole building cost about $30,000 by this one building. I got a quote from someone else building this building at that time in 1982. It was $240,000 for this same building. It was my labour, but that didn't. Anyway, from there I just gradually added other buildings. The beams are cut with a chainsaw. I just went out in the paddock, and where the tree was, I just cut down with a chainsaw, and stacked them so as they were dry, so as they are dried straight. And then just before I put them up, I went through the hands, and it took away the chainsaw effect, which is very rough, and it gives you that sort of appearance.
Beautiful. I want to know how you got it up there.
I've got photos there. The front end load on the tractor, so I had a tractor, which is a bit lower than that, but by putting planks up there and running the tractor up on planks.
Sorry, did you have any other men with you?
No.
You did this whole thing by yourself?
I did myself, yeah. I didn't want anyone else because it's a bit dangerous.
What about like holding one end?
They were the hard ones. Those two there were the hard ones because I had to run up on 2 planks on the front end load and nicely put it on top of that pole.
Anyone to call the ambulance if you had a beam across both legs and you were still conscious?
You wouldn't get away with it today.
No.
Definitely not.
Back in the 1980s.
You blow your cover if you can't talk that.
Now I want to know whether madness runs in your family or not.
No, but doing it today, you get everything ready and you hire a crane and you get it all put up with a crane. But in those days, I didn't have the money, actually, quite honest, for the crane, so I did it myself.
You didn't build this in Hannibal, did you?
just a thing that put in my mind. We really needed another building, and from there we had a group. I was going to have people like you, or smaller groups, and coming in just using it, and I was going to continue on farming. The first group we had just about destroyed the place, and so I thought, no, I can't do that. So we decided, well, I'll keep building, make it big enough, profitable enough for me to be able to survive here, and slowly hand the farm over to my brother. And in about 2001, his son wanted to become a farmer, so I said, right, you and your son could take over, and so we still own the land half each, but they do the farming now. Of course, the whole orchard, my father started collecting farm machinery in 1942, just when he started farming, and over the years we've had 4 or 5 tractors and every type of plough, everything you possibly think of, harvesting for hay and so on, that type of machinery. It was all in the shed over there, and of course the fires came and lost everything. So that was 2009, of course. So and my brother died over there, so in the fire. So his son has continued on. He's replanted the orchard. He's got a little shop down the road there. He sells a lot of his produce, but he hasn't got much produce now. He used to sell. I used to pick all the cherries, but even though I wasn't part of the farm, myself and my brother used to pick all the cherries over there. We used to pick about 10,000 kilograms a year, just between us, the two of us. And we'd sell. We couldn't keep up with the demand in the shop of cherries. And that was only one crop. It was mainly apples, actually, apples and cherries. But I didn't have much with the apples, as from 2001. I handed the farm over to him, but I still helped with the cherries until the fires, and of course, it's all finished now. The cherries didn't even have one shoot on them, live shoot. They just died straight on. The apples, a lot of them regrew, and they're still there. They grew okay, but a lot of them died. Pink ladies all died, but some of the Fuji and others, Johnny Gold, managed to survive. But the rest of the orchard's been planted. The cherries have been replanted again. So hopefully he'll get going one day. Back to where he was. He's got a son who's 3 years old. So.
Did the fire get close to this settle?
Yeah, it came over the hill there. We're right on the edge of it, of course. And if you look at a line on a map of where the fire came, it's a dead straight line, and then it turns back to Miss Whittlesea. They managed to divert it back to Miss Whittlesea. And there's a little horseshoe. And that's the horseshoe here. The line is over the top of that hill, through there. So we managed to hold back the edge of it. There's a paddock right through there, and I ploughed the paddock up the week before, the whole paddock. And beyond that's a few more paddocks, and so there was no sparks to jump. And it just got to our paddock and stopped because I ploughed it up. And then as it came down the hill here, we were able to put it out because it's very, very sheltered. This valley, the reason why I built here was because it's very sheltered. I had a veggie garden here originally because there was no wind. The only wind we get is from the southeast. You don't get a fire from the southeast. So that's why I built it. And I was thinking of building up the creek there, but I'm glad I didn't because it's very windy. It's flatter, but it's very windy. So every time you climb a hill, I think, well, up there I wouldn't have that, but I'd have it a bit windier and more fire prone. So that's why I put it down in this little valley here. But the fire, as it came down the hill there, it's just a wall of fire just coming down. The trees were on fire all the way down. And we walked up to it, but there was absolutely no wind. And you follow that track through there. I actually walked up the track to the fire and walked through the fire to the other side and back again. No danger because there's hardly any radiant heat because it was burning at 1 foot a minute. Just not moving. Just gradually working its way down the hill. It took about 2 hours to get down to where it did. And we had to wait till it got to a track and then we just put it out in knapsacks. We would have kept going if we weren't here, of course, this whole area would have been locked out. We would have kept coming. But we managed to get it out because there's no wind. Wind is the killer from the fire. But anyway, that was fine.
So then up that track there's really few burnt trees, and that's from that?
Yeah, that's from the fire.
Yeah.
It came in 30 metres from the first building. the top building up there.
You've just been up there.
So it's, go to the top building and then 30 metres that way, and that's where the fire came to. But we stopped at that point, so we didn't move it.
When you chainsawed your beams, did you do that by hand or did you have a Lucas mill?
No, actually, my brother's son's bought a Lucas mill to use up all the dead trees over there. No, just chainsaw by hand. I put a string line across
Follow that line.
with a crayon and then just straight through.
I noticed there's some logs up there sort of cut, like
Oh,
they're just
yes.
sitting there drying, and then you
Yeah.
just go in and chop your...
That's from the next building.
That's the way you dry there, and it keeps
Yeah, what you do is, normally, if you've got time to dry that like that, a huge number of trees die in the fire, of course, and so anything that was usable, I've gone through and chopped it into 350 by roughly 250, 300, and then I cut down the middle, so there'll be two quite large beams, not quite as big as these, but almost, but they're much longer than those up there. But if you cut them right through, they bow out like that, straight out. I cut one the other day and it actually, I thought it'd be fine now after being dead for 3.5 years. No, bow right out. Had to get clamps and clamp it back in again. They bow out, but if you leave the ends intact and then cut down, that's how it will season. So it'll season straight. And hopefully by the time I need them, they'll season, which they should. And they'll be straight when I actually cut through the last little bit.
So where's your new new building going to be?
Just across the creek there.
Oh, okay.
And another one up next to the tennis court, that will be a recreation hall. And that'll be, well, see, we have problems with large numbers. We've got 120 beds now. If we get 90 people or so, we have problems with the meeting area, because this is sort of dining area here, and then you have a meeting, it sort of runs into it. So it's another meeting area, come chapel, come whatever, and it will seat about 80 people, about the same size as this.
Howard, thank you. We could probably ask you questions for another half hour if you know, you thought it might take 5 minutes. So thank you for your time. Thank you for this amazing place. And look forward to further yummy food and your hospitality for the rest of the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.